Alright, better be quick. Literally holding a 12 gauge shotgun. One surprising thing I've been enjoying about traveling is just this video is going to be a day in the life of an unemployed doctor who's turned into a traveling hippie. I kind of find vlogs somewhat egotistical in the sense that why would anyone care what I'm doing in my day-to-day life? It's kind of assuming people would actually have an interest, and my life is so interesting that I should just record it and people will just automatically find it interesting. I would hate to make content which is like, oh, I've quit my job as a doctor, now I'm traveling for a whole year, look how good my life is. That's not really the aim of my videos. So in this video I want to show you what we get up to in a typical day, and also show you some of the bad sides of traveling for such a long period of time, of not having a stable job, having a routine. Show you some of the places we're staying at. For example, this room, which is tiny. Because we're traveling for so long, yes, we are on a budget and we have a tiny room. We're not staying in dorms, but we aren't staying in the most glamorous places all the time. We stay in places with cockroaches, we stay in places with the drain pipe is falling off the bottom of the sink. Sometimes it's too hot and there's no AC. It's a real variety. But yeah, I'm probably just rambling rubbish right now because I've just woke up and I haven't had my morning coffee. Hopefully we've got some interesting things planned today. We'll take you on a bit of an adventure. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to talk about the biggest thing that I've got out of this mini retirement, the biggest thing I've got out of this small career break. But first, I'm going to bang out some morning yoga, get some sunlight.
Awkward bit now is trying to find somewhere to do yoga when there's no other people.
So that's the morning yoga done. I'm actually feeling a lot more refreshed after that. Yoga is something that I kind of dabbled in the past, but on this trip I've been doing it a bit more since just trying it at hostel. And now I kind of feel like I need it every single morning. I just feel so good in the body. Like when I wake up and start moving and stretching, I feel like it's quite a natural thing to do. And doing it outside, getting a bit of, well, it's not sunny today, but getting a bit of natural light is just a nice way to start the day. And I meditated a bit. Now I'm going to get some coffee. So a bit of context to where we actually are. Currently in Belize, and we are heading to Guatemala today. So we're going to take a bus across the border and get into Flores. Belize has been cool. Bit more expensive than what we're used to, surprisingly, especially the touristy islands like Cape Corker and stuff. But yeah, and also I realised that when I'm doing these walking, talking shots, my phone is much better than my camera. So if the sound quality is not quite as good, it's just because the image quality just looks so much better, so much more stable when I film, like just using my iPhone. Another thing about traveling is I need to keep packing up our stuff and moving on. And it's 10:55. Checkout's at 11, so I need to pack all my shit in like 5 minutes. I need to pack all this and this and all this in 5 minutes. And I need a poop. Okay, so somehow I've managed to pack. Took about 20 minutes. Yeah, a bit late on the checkout, but I'm sure they won't be too harsh about it. And hopefully go to the gym or something now. So I had these grand plans of going to the gym, but it started pinning it down raining, and the nearest gym's like 20 minutes away, and it looks pretty bad on Google Maps. So I'm just going to maybe work out later when we arrive in Guatemala. And that's another thing in traveling, like you just completely lose your routine. Like you try and do stuff and you can't, you try and work out, but there's no gym nearby. And I think what you see online, you see all the good bits, like going to these beautiful temples, going to these waterfalls, but you don't see this stuff where you're just trying to live your life and you can't because it starts raining or just whatever. And actually apparently there's a hurricane coming in tomorrow, so luckily that it's a good job that we're leaving. And I decided to take you around on this somewhat more routine day rather than some big epic day. But who knows, we may have a surprise adventure that comes up. And one thing people keep asking is, do you get sick of traveling? You've been traveling for like 8 months now, do you get tired of it? I would definitely say there's an element of hedonic adaptation. If you don't know what that is, it's basically where you keep doing pleasurable, enjoyable things, and eventually you just adapt and they no longer become pleasurable or enjoyable. And there's certain things you do adapt to. For example, temples. I think I've seen about every bloody temple in the universe. But we did go to see a temple a couple of days ago, which is my first Mayan temple. Slightly different to all the Asian temples I've seen. And we had a fairly good time there.
Get up there, stop being so lazy.
Check out the view. Oh, I'm not even at the top. Now check out the view.
Woo!
And check out this view. I'm surprised you can just walk around up here. Usually they kind of restrict people's access on top of these old structures. So it's quite cool that you can just walk around up here. And the views are amazing. Cool 360 shot. I thought we were at the top. Turns out this is the top. I actually can't believe they let you up here. There's like no barriers or anything. And huge drops as well. But yeah, this is what we did yesterday. Let's go back to today. But I do think there's certain things that you don't adapt to, and it's usually stuff to do with nature. I don't think I'll ever get used to seeing a beautiful sunset, a sunrise, going to a beautiful beach, seeing a beautiful waterfall. I think there's something quite human about enjoying. Sorry, the traffic here is awful. I think it's hardwired into us as human beings just to enjoy nature. Nature will never stop being beautiful to us. But there are times when I'm not enjoying myself, when doing all this stuff and you just kind of get used to it. But whenever I find myself not enjoying something, I just ask myself, am I being present enough? And usually the answer is no. When I'm not enjoying myself, it's usually just because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. I'm in my head or thinking about other stuff I could be doing. So I just try and focus on the moment, get out of my head, and that usually helps. And one thing I quickly want to touch on as well is kind of the concept of experiential materialism. So we've kind of moved away from, well, not everyone, but a lot of us have moved away from materialism of possessions like fancy cars, designer brands, but we've developed a new kind of materialism, which is collecting experiences instead of things. And especially now with social media, it's kind of like every photo or video we take is kind of like a badge to virtue signal how we like to collect experiences over things. It's become kind of like, oh, I've done this country, I've done Thailand, I've done Mozambique, I've done Nicaragua, I've done the third layer of the stratosphere over the Arctic Ocean. It's kind of just become a checklist, a tick box. And I'm not saying I don't do this as well, I'm just saying be aware of it. If you think you're not materialistic by just doing loads of experiences, beware of collecting experiences like you're collecting material possessions. Anyway, I could sit and speak to you all day, but I've got some more work to do. We'll probably go get some food, and then we'll start our journey from Belize into Guatemala. Just finished some more work. Joe tried to get me some lunch, got me some tacos. She asked for no cheese, but they put cheese in it. And I'm lactose intolerant, so I couldn't eat it. So now we're going to the supermarket to get me some actual lunch. And then I think not long until we get picked up to go to Guatemala. Just trying to find some snacks. It's quite hard to find stuff, healthy stuff. But yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
¿Qué tiene? Mire.
Gracias. Two apples?
Two apples, please, yeah.
Four fifty.
Don't know why we're always running late, but it's 3 minutes to 2 and the bus is coming at 2. Just got my snacks, but still need to make the bloody snacks for the bus. Alright, better be quick. Made it. That's 7 minutes late. Bus ain't here yet, but we are ready and packed, good to go. Kind of rushed to make these for no reason really. We're just waiting for the bus. It said it'll be like 30 minutes. Apparently we can take a bus right from Belize, like a shuttle bus, to Guatemala. It'll drop us off at our destination, which is quite convenient. Usually we're kind of jumping around and different public buses, different planes, and it's a lot of effort. This one's kind of chill. I'm not gonna lie, my missus does most of the planning, in fact all of the planning for this, so I'm lucky enough to kind of take a back seat and just tag along for the ride really. But yeah, now we just wait for the bus. Bus is finally here. They're making us walk up this hill. Alright, we're at the Belizean border to get into Guatemala. We just need to show our passports and stuff, and hopefully we'll be through to the other side.
Internet, you can scan a QR code.
They seem to be through passport control. I think we're in Guatemala now. Joe's dropping her suitcase. But yeah, that was fairly seamless. Now we just need to get the other shuttle and be on our merry way. Okay, now we're through. Let's get through the Guatemalan side. But I think we are actually in Guatemala. Time to find the bus. It's crazy, you go literally 10 minutes across like a little border and the language just completely changes. So speaking English in Belize, straight to Spanish, and I can't speak to anyone. New cash and everything. It's cool though. What's interesting is I see a school bus going across the border. So I think there's kids who go to school in Belize but live in Guatemala. So they cross the border every single day to go to school. Crazy. Just having a little stop. Security guard outside the petrol station is literally holding a 12-gauge shotgun. So unnecessary. But yeah, I guess that's the country we're in. And hopefully nearly our destination. We've arrived, it's raining. Now I need to get to the hostel. I think this is the hostel. We've arrived. Room is in the restaurant. We made it. It's 7 p.m. and it was a fairly straightforward journey actually. We didn't get into too much trouble at the border. Just got a shuttle to the border, showed them the passports, paid the fee, and the shuttle from the border to Flores, where we are at the moment. I guess this highlights the main difference between traveling and a vacation. So, in my opinion, the main difference between a vacation and traveling is a vacation is kind of a passive process. You just go on holiday somewhere, enjoy yourself, and then go home. Whereas traveling, there's a lot more problem solving that needs to be done. There's a lot more financial budgeting, logistical planning, looking out for your safety and security. And it's probably better in the sense that you kind of grow from the experiences rather than just going somewhere to escape your usual life. I think if we were just out here enjoying ourselves, ironically, I probably wouldn't be enjoying myself that much. And I've actually got a bit of a word of advice for anyone who's planning to quit their job or take some time out of work to go travel for a long time, would be if you're someone who is kind of ambitious, a bit prone to workaholism, you need to have something that you can work on whilst you're traveling. For me, I'm so grateful that I have this YouTube channel, which is just something to put in some creative energy. For my partner, it's planning everything, planning where we're going to be, what things that she wants to visit, getting some cool shots of pictures and videos and stuff. I do think a lot of people who haven't done it before, and especially if they're quite hard workers, they can come to a place like Guatemala or Mexico, come enjoy the nature and the waterfalls, do all the touristy things, but actually feel quite unfulfilled. Because in a way, you're just kind of chasing pleasurable experiences. So I'm so grateful that I've got this YouTube channel, that I can work on writing, I can work on content, I can work on planning my future. And in some ways, this YouTube channel has become like a weekly therapy session for me. I just set up my camera, I've got notes that I've written throughout the week, and I just talk to you guys, and I'm so grateful that you listen. I'm so grateful for all my friends and family who are watching, and to all the new subscribers who have joined as well. You really are making a dream come true for me. And then it's not just the filming and the speaking, but also the whole process of editing the video. It really gets me into my flow state, which is where you kind of just lose track of time and get really into something. And this is what these videos do for me. So thank you for allowing me to do that. So if you're anything like me, I highly recommend, if you're taking some time off work, have another project that you can work on. It will save your mental health, I promise you. Okay, that's enough chats. We've just arrived here. I think we want to go get some food, maybe sort out some cash, get some SIM cards, etc., etc. We don't have to go very far because the restaurant is right outside our room. We've made it to the end of the day, and it's still so noisy in this hostel. That's the problem with having a room right next to the restaurant. I don't know why they put one here, but hopefully they'll quiet down soon. At the start of this video, I mentioned that there was one thing that in particular I got out of this mini retirement or career break. And what I'm really grateful for, and it's not what you might initially jump to think of when you go traveling. It's not all the crazy cool shit that we're doing. It's actually just having empty space to think and reflect on my life. Also having space to explore other interests, like doing this YouTube channel, writing, reading things that I wouldn't usually read, which I believe is just completely impossible when you're rotating through a job that takes up most of your life. Then you go to gym after work, then you go to the pub to see your friends, and then you go back to work and you just rinse and repeat. You just don't have the space, the clarity to think. And not just that, just existing in the developed world, in the Western world, you use a lot of your mental energy just doing your work. So if you've got a very cognitive job like I did, all your brain power kind of goes on that. And then of course you've got your life admin, you've got bills to pay, you've got your insurance to sort out, and it all kind of just builds up and it doesn't let you think and reflect about life. One surprising thing I've been enjoying about traveling is just our long journeys. And that's part of the reason that I took you today on this journey, because a lot of the times we're just sitting on a plane, we're sitting on a bus, on a coach somewhere, and not doing anything. Just sitting there, listening to a podcast, listening to an audiobook, or just sitting and thinking about what I want to do with my life, what I've been enjoying, what things I want to take back home with me. People often think that travel is about escaping your life at home. And I'm not going to lie, the first time I went traveling 5 years ago, when I did the 6-month solo trip around Southeast Asia, I was trying to escape a life that I didn't like. And I think the biggest difference this time is that I'm so excited to go home. I've got so much planned for this channel, for my life, for my future with my fiance, our families, our friends. I think I'm so excited this time. I don't feel like I'm escaping anything. And if anything, this trip has got me more excited about going home. And I guess in some ways, because my new home is in Australia, when I go to Australia, I always feel like I'm on holiday, I'm on vacation anyway. The sun's always shining, I'm getting my vitamin D, I'm feeling pretty good most of the time. If you're still watching this video right to the end, you're either my mum or dad, or you're an absolute legend for supporting me in doing what I've always dreamt of doing. Your interest in my videos is really making a dream come true. I hope my videos are continuing to provide you value. I hope you're living your life the way you want to, pushing yourself when you need to, and ultimately experiencing joy in this life. I'll see you next week. Peace.
It looks like he's really struggling. I feel like